CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you were with us on this Wednesday, September 17th. Two teenagers have been charged in the homicide on Poplar Avenue in Sault Ste. Marie. Police were called to the 100 block of Poplar Saturday, where a 23-year-old had been stabbed multiple times. The victim was taken to hospital but died from their injuries. The investigation revealed a 15-year-old was the prime suspect in the stabbing. A 16-year-old was present and fled the scene with the other teen. The 15-year-old is now charged with second-degree murder, and the 16-year-old faces 2 charges of accessory after the fact. All right, shifting gears, let's talk weather. Another beautiful day out there. For more details, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Okay, Tony, originally we were supposed to get at least a 30% chance of precipitation for tomorrow in Greater Sudbury, but that's changed. We'll get into that and a lot more in our 5-day forecast. Predominantly a cloudy day tomorrow, but first, let's check out our systems map brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at getcaa.ca. So I think we may have dodged that proverbial bullet in terms of precipitation for tomorrow. Mainly cloudy. Some of the temperatures will cool down tomorrow. Actually, there's going to be a -1 reading in northeastern Ontario tomorrow night. You thought 0 was low? It goes down to -1. So details coming up.
Thanks, Rick. 2 14-year-olds were charged last night in Sault Ste. Marie after police officers were assaulted. The pair were at a residence on Woodward Avenue and refused to leave the property. Police were called, but the teens still refused to leave. When police tried to physically remove them, the teens resisted, assaulting the officers and causing minor injuries. The 14-year-olds were arrested but later released. And Sioux police arrested a 35-year-old man after a weapons complaint. Police were called to Elizabeth Street, where a man was reported to be in possession of a firearm. A handgun was found along with some ammunition. According to police, the serial number had been tampered. The man faces 5 weapons-related charges. A commercial vehicle driver is facing multiple charges after a traffic stop in Hearst yesterday. OPP pulled the 27-year-old driver over for using a mobile device while behind the wheel. A witness reported the driver and passenger switching seats while the vehicle was in motion. An investigation showed multiple violations related to the driver's daily logos and make that logs and inspection reports. The 27-year-old from Caledon, Ontario, was charged with several offenses, including dangerous driving. The 25-year-old passenger was also charged for making a false statement. It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. First, let's head to Timmins and check out this live webcam, courtesy of the city of Timmins. It's 28 degrees. We're back in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Just checked my email. I got a winter picture courtesy of Bev Bell in Mattawa. Bell, well, that certainly rang for me in terms of the winter weather, Bev. I appreciate that. And of course, it is a harbinger of things to come, but not quite yet. We've got to wait for that winter weather. Forecast radar, here we go with precipitation across the northeast, but perhaps in some sectors, you'll avoid it by tomorrow because we'll get mainly cloudy skies and maybe the odd sprinkle or two in a day or so, but really some areas will not get the rain as first expected. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast now. Sudbury Nickel Belt, originally there was supposed to be some rain, not tomorrow. Mainly cloudy, 18. Friday, we've got sun and cloud. Saturday, sun and cloud, 16 and 18. 20 Sunday, sun and cloud. Now you've got a chance of showers come Monday at 22. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, here we go. Cloud clearing for tomorrow. 19 the high, 16 Friday, sun and cloud. More of the same Saturday at 17. Chance of showers 2 days, Sunday, Monday, 19 and 20, your daytime highs. How about Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing? Here we go. Mainly cloudy tomorrow. No rain there. 14 Friday, sun and cloud. Going down to 0 overnight. Saturday, sun and cloud. High of 18. 19 Sunday, chance of showers. 22 chance of showers on Monday. So a couple of days from now, we will get some rain, or at least a chance of rain. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy. Friday, remember I said 0 coming up for Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake. Well, now the overnight low projected by Environment Canada, -1. Saturday, 17, sun and clouds. Sunday, chance of showers. Monday, chance of showers, both at 30%, 19 and 22, your daytime highs. And a look now at North Bay West Nipissing, mainly cloudy tomorrow, 19, 16 on Friday, sun and cloud to kickstart your weekend. More sun and cloud Saturday at 18, 20 Sunday, sun and cloud, of course. Then Monday, the chance of showers, 30%, your high at 22. So again, watch out for the evening temperature coming up on Friday evening. It'll be cool in some sectors, 0 or -1 or even +1 and +2. So Tony, we'll have to wait a few days for the shower activity to kick in, but tomorrow, mainly cloudy. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. As we've reported, beer stores are closing in multiple Ontario locations. That includes Manitoulin Island's one and only beer store in Little Current. It's set to shut down mid-October, prompting a resident to start a petition. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Debbie Lovelace has lived on Manitoulin Island for almost 30 years and says the community is like one big family. So when she heard the news of the closure, she said she had to do something.
I decided to take it upon myself to try to see if we could possibly stop it or change it or even delay it a little bit so we as a township could actually get a plan set up, because we have no plan. Our grocery stores have no room for expansion for alcohol sales. Our liquor store doesn't have the capacity for carrying beer as well, and we have one corner store and they also can't hold the capacity that goes through this location.
The petition has gained over 2,100 signatures. Meantime, Mayor Al McNiven says he's written a letter to the Brewers retail head office about the closure of the island's only beer store.
Explain those issues around our concern for both the returnables, the loss of good paying and jobs, and the impact it might have on the future services to the island. So I did that. I'm not optimistic things are going to change. I can always hope, but so far I haven't got a reply back.
CTV reached out to the beer store for comment and received this statement, which says in part, "This is not an easy decision and not one we take lightly. We recognize this is difficult news for customers, our employees, and the communities where we operate. The decision to close the Little Current location is final and not one we will be revisiting as a business." The president of the union representing workers, UFCW Canada, says there is 5 jobs at risk at the Little Current location. This is a very unfortunate situation. We will be working to find everyone either a location to work at or enhanced severance packages. Customer Brent Holmberg says he worries most about the economy.
It doesn't make sense. Have another look at what the formula that you're using to close these beer stores. And I can see in a big city where there's a lot more volume in beer stores that are closer. But up here, I think it's a little bit more than numbers.
The Little Current location will close effective October 19th, 2025. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Little Current.
The Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities is sounding the alarm as the closure of the Cap paper mill in Kapuskasing becomes a real threat. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
In a letter to the federal government, the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities says the Cap paper mill in Kapuskasing is at risk of closing in 2 weeks if funding doesn't come through.
We're waiting for a response. The longer we wait, more serious it gets. But it's serious from day one. We just get more and more nervous as time drags on.
The mayor of Kapuskasing says the status of the mill has been on a roller coaster ride for the past year.
We just need the federal government to come to the table and find a solution that's long-lasting to ensure the 2,500 jobs that would be affected in our area.
The province recently provided a $6 million loan extension to prevent Cap Paper's closure on September 10th. It too is calling on the federal government to provide long overdue support to Ontario's forestry sector.
The levies on Canadian lumber are extensive, 35% plus. That's pretty significant. So if it's going to face that much of a tariff at the border, then we should be using it within our own country for our own every level of government that's argued that we need more homes, we need more homes. Well, let's get building homes and using Canadian lumber.
Mayor Plourde says if cap paper closes, the entire forest industry in the area will feel the impact, as sawmills will have nowhere to send their byproducts.
If there is no place for that byproduct to go, then the mills cannot continue to produce because they stockpile these chips and sawdust in their yards, and it just becomes too large for them to cope with. Already it's a problem because there's less and less consumers of that byproduct.
Northern Ontario municipal officials say they are ready to meet with the federal government to chart a path forward. And they add Northern Ontario could be the cornerstone of Canada's housing strategy with the right support, but the time to act is now. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Registration is full. Coming up on CTV News at 5, officials at the public library in the Sioux say book clubs are incredibly popular. Sudbury-based Magna Mining has surpassed its goal of raising $50 million from the private sale of shares. The company announced earlier this month it would be opening up shares to raise $45 million in capital and administrative funds. Magna owns several mine sites in Sudbury, and a share of these funds will go to getting the Levack mine up and running, possibly as soon as next year. The CEO says crews are still doing some exploration at the Levack site, but the results have been positive so far.
Although Sudbury is endowed with a lot of metals, nickel, copper, platinum, palladium, gold, and silver, we are really focused on copper right now, but there's also a lot of precious metals. And some of the recent results we had put out from some of our exploration drilling at Levack had almost an ounce per ton gold as well as very high copper. So copper, but with a lot of precious metals.
Magna has 180 workers in the Sudbury area and could add as many as 200 jobs if efforts are successful to bring Levack back into production. The Ontario Phragmites Action Program announced 87 new invasive Phragmite management projects, including 15 in Northern Ontario. Phragmite australis, or European common reed, is one of Canada's most invasive plant species. It grows in dense patches that outcompete native vegetation, ultimately reducing biodiversity. Money from the Phragmites Control Fund will reach projects to help protect northern wetlands. September is Recovery Month, and in North Bay, the Canadian Mental Health Association is celebrating people's recovery from addiction. CTV's Eric Tashner tells us the story of 3 bandmates who helped each other.
For the Oak Street Boys, recovering from substance abuse really rocks. When Ben Levack was 14 years old, he became addicted to alcohol and drugs. He then reached out for help.
I thank God that happened. I wouldn't be here without it.
With a guitar in hand, he checked into the CMHA Oak Street Addiction Treatment Facility. While there, he met Aaron Simmons and Darren Hutchinson, who would eventually become his bandmates. They instantly formed a bond over their love of music.
I ended up giving Darren a guitar, and for the exchange, he taught me how to play bass.
They knew that together they could overcome the addiction that held each of them back. Very quickly, they became known as the Oak Street Boys, and they would often jam out for other rehab patients.
Music's really good for recovery for us. It brings out an emotion chart for us.
All 3 band members are now clean. When going through recovery, Levack found support from his family, the staff, and of course, his fellow bandmates.
Without the people from Oak Street, I wouldn't have been able to done it.
The group played today for other recovering addicts through a jam and open mic session to celebrate hope, healing, and strength.
Addiction is a disease of isolation, and it takes us out of life. It takes us away from family, friends, any connection to the universe. Find the connection.
Statistics show 18% of Canadians meet the criteria for alcohol use disorder. For people that need help, there are many challenges, like stigma, the location of services, and lack of housing.
There's a wide array of services, so anything from harm reduction, inpatient treatment, supportive community treatment.
Hoping to be an inspiration for others, The Oak Street boys say peace is present on the road to recovery.
Just take it one day at a time.
And their tranquility came through the power of music. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Filmgoers continue to take in screenings at an international film festival this week in Sudbury. The city itself plays a role in one of the films set to debut tomorrow night. We get the scoop from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
This may look like the Adirondacks in New York State, but it's actually Greater Sudbury. It's the setting for Untitled Home Invasion Romance.
Sudbury and upstate New York have very similar locations, very similar topography, so it was the perfect fit to film it here.
The film is the directorial debut for Jason Biggs, known for his role in the American Pie franchise. He also stars in the dark comedy about a struggling actor who hatches a plan to win his estranged wife back by faking a robbery with the help of his acting friend. The plan goes awry while the couple is at the family's lake house.
It plays out like a really bad movie.
The movie was shot in Sudbury last summer with about 80% of the cast and crew from Northern Ontario. Given those connections, Anselmo felt it was important for the movie to have its world debut at Cinefest.
I'm overly supportive of Cinefest, and when they asked to want to screen this, I said this is the only place I really wanted to have the world premiere. So I'm really, really happy that we get to show this movie for the first time in our hometown and celebrate it with all the people from the community who have really supported the film industry over the years.
People have been excited and just working so hard to make our industry not just successful, so it's creating jobs and things like that. That's all important. But we want to be building and creating world-class content here.
Anselmo says many of the Northern cast and crew who worked on the film will be at the screening tomorrow night. According to Cinefest, there are only a few rush tickets left for the Thursday night gala film. Anselmo says they hope to release Untitled Home Invasion Romance to general audiences either late this year or early in 2026. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
And a Sudbury-based film will make its debut Friday at the Sudbury Indie Cinema.
Think so. You say beautiful.
Even an artist can confuse the work with the person.
The film Fidelity features local talent and was produced, written, and directed by local filmmaker B.P. Paquette. The film combines animation and live action and follows a woman in her mid-30s who stumbles into an affair during a casting call for a movie. The film will be shown at 7 p.m. this Friday. In sports, the Sudbury Wolves of the OHL announced today that the club has signed 3 players for the upcoming season. Forward Daniel Berahowski joins as a free agent who played 4 preseason games with the club. The other 2 are defensemen, Jaden Connors and Hudson Martin. Martin was a member of the NOJHL champion Sudbury Cubs last season. The North has so many great sights. When we return, our community close-up segment. Do you enjoy reading? Are you a member of a book club? A lot of organizations, public libraries across our region are restarting book clubs. And to tell us more, Sarah McComb from the Sault Ste. Marie Public Library now joins us. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Tell us about the book clubs at the Sault Ste. Marie Public Library. I understand they're restarting?
Yeah, so they are, we did have to take a little bit of a break after COVID. They've been back for a few sessions now, and we like to run 2 sessions of the book club per year. We have a couple different book clubs that people can join. We have a general fiction book club, which runs on Tuesdays. That's called the Tuesday Book Club. And we also have a specific one for mystery and suspense.
And I think you told me a little bit off camera that your sessions are already booked, like these clubs are filled to capacity?
They are. It's a very popular program, and all of our sessions that are running currently are completely booked with a wait list. But for anyone who is looking to join one in the future or is disappointed that they didn't get a chance to join in this session, we are looking at running registration again in January for another round of book clubs starting in February.
Sarah, I'm wondering what happens at these book clubs?
Yeah, so everybody reads the same book. We've got a selection of 4 books that are checked, they're selected for each section. Everybody gets a copy to borrow, so you don't need to worry about sourcing the book for yourself. And then our library staff facilitate a conversation. They provide some discussion questions, there's coffee, there's snacks, and there's just some really good conversations and maybe an opportunity to read books that you might not have picked up otherwise, to kind of broaden your reading horizons if that's something you're interested in, and also to hear the perspectives from other readers.
So people who love reading obviously join these book clubs. Do you have people who want to become authors or get into more writing also join the book club?
You know what? We have a pretty wide range of people who join our book clubs. I would say that primarily it is people who are really interested in reading. They love the book club picks. They love, the mystery and thriller genre for those who join the mystery book club. And yeah, I would say that that's primarily people who just love to read and love to talk about books.
Sarah, continued success with the book clubs. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
That was Sarah Bacombe from the Sault Ste. Marie Public Library. Our first community close-up comes to us west of Sudbury. Brenda snapped this photograph with a caption, "Enjoying the last few days of summer." The picture was taken at Tube Lake, north of Walford. Thanks, Brenda. To Sudbury and Linda Durkash of Caperel took these photographs and sent them to us. She says heading to hike on a cool morning and saw the fog at Moonlight Beach. Thanks so much, Linda. And we're going to head north of Sault Ste. Marie to Robertson Cliffs. Wendy Lynn Hill says she was chasing waterfalls on a gorgeous day recently. So great that you were thinking of us, Wendy Lynn. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.